The NFL is back, and that means the bets are being placed. Sports betting is a booming industry, and while it can be a fun fall hobby, gambling can also turn into a severe issue. An estimated 2.5 million adults face a severe gambling problem every year, and another 5 to 8 million have mild or moderate issues. So when does sports betting and gambling become an addiction? Well, joining us today, to share some signs and tips, we have Mark. For a lot of people, the start of the season, the Super Bowl, to them it's like a special occasion. Do you think it's responsible for someone to just place some bets on a few games and then move on from that?
I think anything can be responsible if you do it in moderation, right? I think what tends to turn left extremely is when people start processing or making life decisions on betting. So for example, if somebody is in a position where they are second guessing, like paying an important bill to bet, and then they are processing like, oh, well, maybe if I win, then it can cover this and some debts, then it can get into some very risky behaviors. I think overall, yes, we're talking about gambling addiction, but I just think it's addiction behavior as general, because anything can be a really addiction, right? And it's that process, that underlining, if I do this thing, it will alleviate this thing later,
Yeah, in your expertise or your advice, what leads someone into the mindset where gambling becomes risky or problematic?
Usually it's the sensitivity of financial stress or other stressors that leads onto it, because the behavior is a coping strategy, and that's where the spiral becomes, right? Now I'm into this thing where, I may get a win, and it's like, I can see the light at the end of the tunnel, and then now I'm in this severe downward spiral because I'm risking everything else just for a potential of winning.
Since severe gambling problems aren't always visibly obvious,
Sure.
As other addictions, what signs could indicate that someone is starting to struggle?
If somebody's starting to hide the fact that they're gambling, typical addiction behaviors, they hide in the activity. If they are, like I was saying, processing bigger risk, those things are very evident when you see it.
How
Sure.
can a loved one approach the subject in a supportive way instead of, something maybe confrontational or combative?
I think loved ones have to be very supportive, and we try to be understanding as much as possible, because you're dealing with somebody that's in a severe need, right? And a lot of times they may not realize, because it became such a second nature for them, and it's hard for them to even understand or get out of the stage of denial before they can move in and be like, I can receive help, or I need help.
Since sporting betting has become legal, are you seeing just it's increasing?
Absolutely, it's increasing. I think anytime sensitive people or have those traits get into a space where it's allowed, it's hard when you don't have boundaries already to begin with.
Mm-hmm. Now, it's not just sports betting. We also have the Powerball jackpot that's coming up, or is now $1 billion.
Yeah.
What are some healthy ways for people to participate without letting it take over their entire lives?
The first thing, I think I would be a terrible billionaire. I think I would give all my money away. But I think to do it, make sure it's fun, make sure it's not detrimental if you're making these choices. If you don't have it to lose it, then you probably shouldn't do it.
Okay, all right. A lot of good tips there. Thank you, Mark, for joining us.